got great things coming up. We've got a very unexpected sequel coming up.
You heard it from the man himself. An unexpected sequel is going to be given to us during this season of Doctor Who. So, a sequel almost definitely implies that there's going to be some form of returning villain. Now, trying to figure out exactly which episode this returning villain's going to feature in is a bit tricky, but narrowing it down, looking at all the clues from Doctor Who magazine, the way Russell's talked about it, it's going to be episode 3, I think. There is one other possibility, but we'll talk about that episode in a moment. Russell has said that the 2 episodes you don't want to miss, you don't want to not watch live, otherwise you'll be massively spoilt, are episodes 3, The Well, and episode 6, The Interstellar Song Contest. So if he's saying those are the big ones that you don't want spoilers for, even more so than the finale, like, you'd think the finale's where he's going to go, you don't want spoilers, but apparently there's bigger things that will be spoiled online if you don't watch episodes 3 and 6 live. Probably one of the 2 is going to be this sequel. I think it's going to be episode 3 purely because there's been so little advertisement about what's actually happening in the episode. We know that they go to like a mining planet, but that's about it. So I think that's most likely, and that's what I'll discuss in a minute, because there's certain returning monsters which would fit the well, bear that in mind, but we'll come to that in a moment. I think the other possibility is that episode 6, the Interstellar Song Contest, is in fact a sequel to a classic Doctor Who story, The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. There's also been a lot of talk about Doctor Who being really meta at the moment, like meta-modern. There's a lot of breaking of the fourth wall and almost acknowledgements that the characters are in a TV show. Like in The Devil's Call, the Doctor says, "Oh, I thought the music was non-diegetic. Mrs. Flood has repeatedly broken the fourth wall. Maestro's been breaking the fourth wall." And one of the quite meta classic Doctor Who stories is The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. It's explained really well in John Higgs's Doctor Who book, Exterminate, Regenerate, which I finished reading the other day. Check it out. It's so good. I say reading, I listened to it on Audible while editing, so give it a listen or a read, it's great. But the point is, Greatest Show in the Galaxy is about the gods of Ragnarok sitting on high and demanding entertainment. They have to entertain, otherwise they will die. Which metaphorically at the time was John Nathan Turner's way of representing the fact that the BBC were on a tirade to cancel Doctor Who. Trust me, I am going somewhere with this. The gods of Ragnarok effectively represented the big figureheads at the BBC deciding whether or not the general public, whether or not people enjoy Doctor Who, whether or not they're going to cut off the lifeline. So, in these sort of turbulent times where there is rumour after rumour of Doctor Who being cancelled, the TV landscape being really difficult, who's to say the gods of Ragnarok aren't going to be brought back to in fact judge the Interstellar Song Contest? Similar to how there's constant rumours about Doctor Who being cancelled nowadays, Russell might be doing a meta story in which the gods of Ragnarok are back once again, the BBC or Disney Plus or whoever he wants to represent them as, are back observing the Doctor and these people who, at the Interstellar Song Contest, have to perform or they die. We know this whole series is about gods and myths. We've had Maestro, we've had Lux, hasn't come out yet, but Lux is going to be a god, I presume. We've had Sutekh, we've had the Toymaker, the goblins were technically part of the Legion pantheon of gods. So having gods makes sense. Yeah, it could be the gods of Ragnarok back in a meta commentary. I mean, Lux is supposed to be incredibly meta as well. So that's our first theory, but I think the more likely theory is that it's episode 3, The Well. I reckon The Well is going to be this unexpected sequel. They're starting the series off with a big whammy of the Robot Revolution, which has gone down pretty well, Lux, which is getting rave reviews at the moment, and then the big unexpected sequel of Doom. But what aliens or monsters or creatures are going to appear? Well, I've narrowed it down in a little short list of ones I think are more or less likely to appear than others. First up, we'll just quickly discuss the Weeping Angels. I don't think it's impossible, but I think it's unlikely. That would be a returning villain which would make headlines, which would be incredibly creepy, because we've got to remember, the vibe of episode 3 from everything we've seen so far is scary. It's creepy, and it's Varida's favourite episode. They've both, Ncuti and Varida, have discussed how much they enjoyed filming it, and Ncuti's talked about like, oh, I ticked something off my bucket list. The Weeping Angels would definitely be like a tick off the bucket list for a Doctor actor, and I know we had them in Flux, but other than that, they've been rarely used for like over 10 years, I think. I think other than in Flux, their last actual story was 2012. So it's not even like they're an overplayed villain. And if you're going down a creepy well, and there's angels, it fits the vibe. Another creepy villain, the Silence. Maybe that's why they haven't been advertised. Like, you can't remember them, and it's going to be really creepy and spooky. There's no other logic behind that theory other than the Silence are scary, right? I think it's probably too soon, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a sequel to something like Wild Blue Yonder. The only reason I say probably not is because it's too soon. Like, would you do an unexpected sequel to an episode that came out a year ago? Like the Not things and the replicating, like having multiple Ncuti Gatwas or multiple Varida Sethus there, that could be quite spooky. But I think it's probably too quick, too early to do a sequel to that story. Let's also just tick off the Cybermen and the Daleks. But, I mean, the only evidence for that is, once again, Ncuti saying he got to meet a villain that ticks something off his bucket list. And, to be fair, I think Daleks is very unlikely. I think, unless you could go like the route of Alien, where you've, like in Revolution, you've just got the Dalek mutant squid trying to find its casing, scaring everyone. That could be really spooky. Or you could go with the body horror of Cybermen, down a well, humankind in the future. Like, you could see Cybermen, like there's all these cyber wars and whatnot. Maybe it's the aftermath of a cyber war. Doctor Who loves to like do that and go there. But I think the more realistic two options, my two top contenders for this, are A, the Midnight entity from Midnight. If they're going to a mining planet, I swear Midnight was like a mining planet, like there's supposed to be mines there or something, when that, like, I don't think it has a name other than the Midnight entity, which by the way is the point. They better not ruin it if it is a Midnight sequel. But they could definitely, like, that makes sense. It's half written by Russell T Davies and a new writer. Midnight, you wouldn't necessarily expect that. They're going on a mining planet, it's dark, it's dingy, it's creepy, and most importantly, there's been no pictures of the villain. Nothing's leaked, there's been no comment about it. Probably because in Midnight, that you'd never see the villain, which should probably stay the same here. Like, I don't want it to be how in Series 5 we saw the Weeping Angels' heads move, and like, that's just silly. Stephen Moffat, you smashed it in Blink, but actually seeing the Weeping Angels' heads turn, it stops, well, at least I feel, in my personal opinion, it's not as creepy. It's still cool, it's not the end of the world, but I prefer we didn't see them move. So I hope, if it is a Midnight sequel, I don't want them to reveal too much about the creature, and I want them to do something new and fresh with it. Which, to be fair, Midnight was what, 2008? That's a lot of years ago. So I'm up for it, a Midnight sequel, maybe. The other option, I give this one maybe more credence because of the title, The Well, The Flood, from the Waters of Mars. Once again, this is an episode from the original Russell era, so if Russell's coming back for a sequel, it makes sense. And the Doctor's said in one of the trailers, like, I met this thing that scared me more than anything ever. The Flood could be that. Like, let's not forget, this kind of pushed him towards Time Lord Victorious Doctor. And also, they're just terrifying, like the Flood creatures. They're very mysterious, very spooky, base under siege creatures, which is perfect for being down a well where there'd be water. Like, if it's called the Well, it could be maybe an untapped base on like a mining planet. The humans were getting their water from the well, and that water is infecting people with the Flood virus, which is causing the weird water zombie things to happen all over again. I can't lie, that would probably be the most exciting outcome of all of this. I mean, I'm really on board for Midnight as well. And you know what, if there were Cybermen, I'd be up for that. Even Weeping Angels, I can't lie. Any of these options I'd be happy with, but I think maybe the Flood would be my favourite thing to see come back. They're just so spooky, uncanny, and it's just iconic. So There you go. Perhaps the Flood, or the Midnight Entity, or the Weeping Angels, or any of the others I've listed are coming back to Doctor Who. But let me know which aliens you guys think it is in the comments down below. Do you think it's episode 3 or episode 6 or a different episode that is the unexpected sequel? Thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, as ever, check out the Patreon for early access to new videos and exclusive audio commentaries for the fan films, podcasts, all that jazz. Thank you very much for watching and goodbye.
Don't forget to click below and subscribe to the official Confused Adipose YouTube channel.
I will destroy you!
She's not seen a single episode.
No, I've watched your episodes.
Keep these sonic screwdrivers.
What else am I saying about the film? Don't watch this one.